Alright, we're back here with this coyote. Remember, this is that blonde one with blondish red. We've been breaking it, like I showed you earlier, and we're getting it ready to mount up. We're going to make a rug out of it. Still a little stiff in places, but after I get this head in, I could work that again. This is the form we're going to put in it. I've got the eyes to go in it and that. And it'll go in some right from the bottom like that. But first what we have to do is rehydrate this head now. And to rehydrate a head like this, what I do is so I can get that bottom lip out of there. I take and get some paper towels. You can use a rag too. But I have a paper towel that I wet. Then I put down in there. I want to get down to the neck here. So I'll put those wet paper towels in there. Don't have to be real wet, just damp. What I'm doing is I want to rehydrate this so I can get it over the form. I could have mounted this up right away, but it takes, then you have to work around your form all the time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and just get that just a little wetter. And then I'm going to take and get some more. Rag would work probably better, but I don't have one right here handy, a clean one. I'm going to wrap this head up like so, around the ears. I can feel it starting to get soft already, so. I'll do a little more. One more wrap around there. I'll show you. I'm gonna just dampen that. I want to get this damp enough so I can work with it. And then when I'm done doing that, I got it all covered up and damp. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a plastic bag all the way down the head. I'm going to tie that kind of tight. Now you can put this in a refrigerator, roll it up, put it in the refrigerator or whatever. But what that'll do is that'll trap that moisture in there and won't let it evaporate. I'll come back tomorrow and we'll take a look at it. It should be pretty soft. Hopefully it'll be soft enough to work with. But you see this hide it's fairly supple. And you see that. We'll clean this stuff up and get some of these membranes off of here like that. See how white it is underneath? And then we break that and that'll be just butter soft, I hope, but I doubt it. It'll be soft though, softer than what it is. And we might put this on a grinding wheel and just take some of this off. Make it look nice. But we're going to back this. I don't know what I'm going to back it with. Traditional rug is usually red and white felt, or red and black felt. I think I'm going to go with the camo trim around the outside. It's going to be a wall hanging, so that'll be good. Anyway, we'll get back to you tomorrow on this. Here's the shell for it. Remember we put this plastic bag around the head? We're going to take this off of here now and see how soft it is. Oh yeah, it's really soft. Look at that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Hang on, I'm going to get a knife. I'm going to get my fleshing ball. Clean this head up a little bit. See if we can anyway. Get a sharp knife here. Got some few boogers on it that we want to get rid of. You gotta be kind of careful. You don't want to take too much off. This dark stuff is blood. And you see the eyes here. I'm going to use my fleshing ball here. And I want to get these eyes right out to the eyelid here. You see that black right there? I'm just going to go ahead and, you got to be real careful here. You don't want to cut that eyelid off. Get that out to the edge. See the eyelashes? You don't want to cut those off either. Be real gentle. You don't have to take your time here. The eyes are what makes the mount, I think. Hi, Toby. If you're watching this and haven't met Toby before, this is my cat, Toby, my shop cat. Somebody dropped him off here years ago. We took him in. He caught a mouse the first night. Now he's a fixture. We got a lot of people ask about Toby all the time, how he's doing and that. He's a suck up. He loves women. He sucks up to them terrible. I think we could have given him away. Oh, I'll bet 100 times already. He's just a good cat. Don't worry about that discolored skin. We're still tan, so. You want to get it thin though. The thinner you get it, especially if you're doing stuff like deer and that, the less shrinkage you'll have. I know, Toby. It's a rough life you got. This is what you got to do to prep this for mounting. You know, there's just some things you have to do, and this is one of them. We want to do this one from start to finish for you. Wherever you find anything that's thick, go ahead and thin it out. And you see the hair follicles, the hair roots here on your whiskers, you don't want to cut those off. Trying to stay away from those babies if you can. Otherwise you won't have any whiskers left on your coyote. This nose area. We're going to rebuild the nose. We aren't going to buy an artificial one. For, you know, if you want to do an artificial, that's fine. You just, what you do if you're doing an artificial, you cut your nose off right where the black and the hair meet. Then you thin that out around there with the scissors. So when you fit it under your form, it'll fit good. Well, we're going to rebuild our nose, so. It saves you a little bit of money. Especially if you're doing it for your shop or yourself, and that's what this one is. I thought it was just a unique coyote, so. Don't see a lot of blonde ones. Have more of the traditional colored. Anyway, Getting that pretty darn close. Now we're looking at the earbuds. I want to look at the ears. They're pretty clean. I'm going to try to turn those ears inside out. Get them to the right side now. It's kind of hard after they've been dried, because they're still just a little bit stiff. You can move them, but they aren't like they were when they come off the hide. They're fresh. So I'm just turning them inside out. I'll probably have to use something to push that down in there somehow. I'll get that. Sometimes you have to talk to it and get it to go. And that's what we did. We got her to go. I'm going to use something with a point on it to push that ear up out of there. This here's my ear tool. So you can use anything that doesn't have a sharp point on it and get that ear up out of there. There we go. Anyway, there we go. See, it popped right out there. Hopefully the other one's a little bit more moist, and it is a little bit more moist. We're gonna pop that one. Let's get that so we can invert that one also. There we go. Now, I guess what we better do is take a test run with our head and see if it's going to fit in here. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a test run, see if our head fits. Oh boy, look at that. That doesn't bother me a whole lot because I've got to split this up some more. You see, we can split this all the way up to here, and that's not a bad deal. So I'm going to split this a little bit more, just like that. And that'll give it a chance to get up over there. Okay, look at there. So we got this, we got the eyes, we got the chin right here. Okay, the head's going to fit. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put some Bondo in the ears, just like this here. Get this turned on the inside out a little bit, just like that. See that hole there? I can put some in there. We got to mix it up first, so. Okay. Put a little fiberglass in here. And I just do that just so it doesn't crack as easy. Good enough to do 2 ears here. Well, I'd say not quite as big as a golf ball. Their ears aren't that big. Let's set this aside. Okay, now I get my hardener. Mix her up. Make sure you get a pink color or red color there. Okay, we'll get ready to get a piece of this out of there. I only want about half of that there. Let's see. The bad thing when you put this stuff in there, boy, it's really stringy. Okay. Well, we got her in the hole here. We're going to put it in the hole. Get her down in there, force it in there. Okay, pull your ear back out through there. Just like this here. Then start, squeeze that up toward the top. Just like that. And then we just let that one form. Just you move that Bondo around in there. Thin it out toward the edges. See that? That'll work out nice. Now we'll do this other one. Get a hole started here. Okay, let me get with it here a little bit. Okay, got it right here. Got the hole. Now all we gotta do is get the Bondo, and we'll be set. Down in there as far as you can, then come back to the outside and pull that ear, and that'll pull that up in there, and just kind of work that stuff up. I got a hole in the back of this ear, so I'm going to take this Bondo right off of there. If you get it while it's wet, you can do that. Then use a wet rag here. I'll take that right off of there. Wet rag works fairly well. But anyway, I'm going to get the shape of this first. Ones look about the same. We'll card these here after we get her mounted up. We're going to let this harden up first though. See how that looks? That's how you want those ears to look. And we'll put some carding on them so if it's not quite all the way out to the edges, it'll dry. With nice crisp edges on it. What I want to do is I want to cut out the lip slots here and the nose. Now see the nose on this one? We could use this form's nose here if we want. And you know what? I think we will. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and cut the lip slot first. Just like this. Now don't forget to round out in the corner so you can tuck extra skin in. They always have some extra skin. And go a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch deep. Maybe a little deeper. Follow that lip around. And just give yourself another ½ inch. And then route that out a little bit. Try to figure out how to get these eyes in there because the competition ones are a lot bigger because they got the white band on them all the way around. So we've got to, there's no way this is going to fit in here. See that? So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out. Try to get that eye to fit. Take it as much off the bottom as you do the top. way you're symmetrical. So we're going to take and slide this in here like this. See how I slid that in there? That looks pretty good. We're going to do the same thing with the other side here. Trying to undercut it. What we want to do is we want to make sure these eyes look the same. We don't want them half Google-eyed one way and half the other. So we're going to look at him. And if you take a look at that, you'll see this, let's see, this pupil over here is kind of tilted in. So we're going to take and move that so it's straight up and down. And I want the eyes to be fairly symmetrical across this way, the plane of them. Let's see, this one here a little bit more. That's not bad. And then we'll do our, after we get the head in here, we'll do our clay work. But what I want to do now is go around this nose and make a little bit of a line. And that's where our skin is going to go right in there. It's going to kind of tuck right in there. You're going to take a look at your nose here. Some forms don't have this on there, so you can't do it. I'm going to cut out the... We'll do some modeling and sculpting to get that right. Well, you see that now? That we'll get our skin in there. We'll cut the nose off. Right here, see it? Okay, we'll cut it right down to there. See if I got a good scissors here. Yeah, we do. Okay. Make sure our ears are hardened up before we move her too much. Okay, now we're going to cut this off. Now remember what I said about that. You got to keep right at the edge of the hair. Go ahead and get her started. You see that? Just right at the edge of the black. If you're not trying to make a video, this does go quicker. Don't worry about it. I gotta worry about where my hands are the whole time, so you can see it. Okay, now we're getting down around this side of the nostril. See that? There's some black here. Okay, now we got this skin here. What we want to do is we want to make sure that skin is thin along here so we can tuck it real nice in there. I want to almost feather that skin out. Feather it toward the to the cut. Okay, we got that. Then we're going to do the eyes. We'll get these eyes cut right at the eyelids. We're just going to go ahead and cut those eyelids right off. Or the scrap around, not the eyelids. Don't do that. Just keep going around there. Like so. Now if you have a sharper scissors or whatever, that works out just great too. There we go. That eye is done. Now we're doing this eye right here. Get that where we can see it. How's that looking? Pretty sweet right there, isn't it? I feel a little bit of something right here. A little bump of something. Okay. Now we got that. Now we're going to do another test fit here. See how we're looking on our... What I want to do first, I want to get this lip thin some more. So I'm going to use my fleshing ball here and flesh this down a little bit. So I have a little flap there. See that? That way we can have something to tuck up in there. Go ahead, if it feels a little thick, go ahead and cut it off of there. There we go. Okay, I'm going to test fit this head in here and see how she does. We're not doing anything around the eyes yet, no modeling yet, because I want to get the head in here. Because when I put this in here, I know I'll screw the modeling up around the eyes, so. Okay, see how this is going to fit around this nose? Well, we'll come back to that. That's going to look nice. Anyway, we're going to get up here, make sure we got our excess trimmed off the lips here. No way we're tucking all that in. And get your extra stuff off of there. And let's see where this lip is going to sit right up here. Okay. It's going to sit like so. Now we're going to be able to tuck all this in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and bring this down just a little more. Just a little bit more. That'll help us tuck that a little bit. Okay. Get yourself a couple rolls of clay like this. Oh, pencil size or whatever. You need one for the top of the eye and one for the bottom. You just go from here, go around that eye like this. If we have anything extra, we can smooth it out. Same way, just like that, around that eye. I know it doesn't look too good when you first do it, but you can smooth a lot of this out after you get your hide on, because you're going to end up, you got to make your eyelids and that, and your eyebrows, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that you got about the same amount of clay as what you want, and we do. So we use a little bit of caulk, latex clear caulk, put it right in the mouth here. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to pull this nose down over here, like so. Get this bottom lip up here. Pull it on up, like this. And then just get your tucking tool, tuck this in. Like that. Got your corner of your mouth here. Get the corner of your lip right here. Start tucking it up into this crack where you cut that slot. Got a little bit of a goober here. Okay. That tucked in there. That's on me. So we're just going to go ahead and bring this up into here. Just keep working that up in there. Now you can leave a little bit of this black showing right here on the lip of the dog. You'll see that sometimes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the top part on this side. Do the same thing. Go to the front, make sure you're centered up here in the front. Just like that. See, I got this tucked right here. If you haven't got enough, make sure you pull it down. Just keep tucking it in. Do that. Tuck it real. Just keep tucking it in. You don't want any black showing there on that upper lip. I want to make sure that we're hold it in place. Anyway, we're doing this other side here now. We're going to tuck this bottom corner in. We're going to find the corner of the mouth right here. We're going to start tucking that in. There we go. Once you get that started in there, you're in good shape. Now you might have to get a little pointier tool than what I got right here to pull this, because I gotta. There we go. You have to stretch that a little bit. You want your hairline to be right about there. The dogs, this shows a lot of times on the dog, so that's no biggie. Okay. Now we're working this top down. We're tucking that. I want to tuck this lips more, because that ain't gonna do. Get that skin over there. Get that tucked in. Okay. Then you're pulling that lip up just a little bit. Now what we're going to do, we're going to pin the heck out of this. I don't want this pulling out on the bottom. So just go ahead and just pin it. Oh, about every quarter of an inch or every half an inch. Okay, where's my other tool going on? Got a little black skin showing right here. I don't want that. Pull that up. Put a pin in it. And you use your pin to pull things up too. You just put it in an angle. Just upright it. Go down along the top too. You can just stake that one right through the top, right into that lower lip. You need to push that down, that hair down a little bit. Go ahead and push it down. Now's the time. You get most of your needles and pins you need at Walmart or taxidermy supply house. Now I'm just going to turn this over and come down this other side here the same way. And make sure this lip stays tucked in. Sometimes they come out when you're pulling on the other side. If there's any extra hairs, I want them out of there. pinning. Let's see if I can keep you in line here. Put it at an angle. You need to straighten it out. Go all the way around the lip. So we want to. Okay, now we're going to do this, the top lip. Okay, we got that mouth done. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get this nose done. I'll show you how to do that here. So what we're going to do is we're going to super glue this nose in here. You see, we're going to put some on the top here. Yeah, I had to glue this together, remember? Anyway, we're going to super glue right along the top. Then we need something sharp. So I'm going to get a sharp pin. We need to move this over into this area, just like that. Just put it right in there. Just like that to hold it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a couple pins in here to hold this in place. Don't worry about this nose right now. As long as we got this skin really fairly close into that groove, this groove will get filled up. We'll put a little bit of texturing material on this nose, and that'll look good. We'll make it look good. Now what we're going to do is see if we got some. I think this glue ran down right here, so I'm going to put some in here. Just take your pin and push it in there like that. See how clean that is? Really, really clean looking. I'll put a pin in here to hold it, a couple of them. Really, really nice looking. That's we're going to get this nose pulled out here where it should be. Okay, now we're going to come around this side here, do the same thing. We're going to take and get this around here. that one out here. Okay. Just take and work that in there really carefully. Now make sure your nose is fairly straight. I'm going to take and put a pin in here. Just to hold these in place here. Now remember I told you we'll go back here and we'll use some epoxy sculpt and we'll build this nose up, give it some texturing, and it'll look like the real nose. We'll have a reference photo to look at. Put as many pins in as you think you need to hold it. You just get a feel for it sometimes. I'm going to put a couple more pins right here. Just to hold that while it's drying. Super glue does a pretty good job. But it can still come loose. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the eyes here. Now we got to get this eye back to, you got to stretch this a lot of times. Get this eye back to where you want it. You want to get yourself, okay, there's my tool. Tear duct going right here. Just go ahead and make yourself a little tear duct in that clay there. Then you get your eye. Pull your eye back like this. If you have to, just wedge it back. And get yourself a pin. And put right in the corner of that. You see that eye right there? Right in the corner. And just drive that baby home. Just like that. Now what we want to do is we want to make this eye look as real as we can. So you form your lower eyelid like this. You study your dog or anything, and the eyes will come around, your eyelid will come down and up like this. See that? I'm going to take a look at that from the front. Okay, what I want to do is I want to get a pin. I want to sink it right in here. That'll keep that from drying up and pulling up there. You don't have to drive that one home. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the eyebrow deal. The eyebrow right here. So we want to just put a crease in here. You can kind of see where it goes right around here. You can feel the clay give way underneath there. That's what you want to feel. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pin right in here. Right in the crease of that eye. Now what we got to do is we got to tuck this eye over. And I'm going to need a sharper pin. Go ahead and just get that and just fold that over like this. You want your eyelashes to point down about a 45-degree angle. I'm going to take a look at him from the front and see what that looks like. You see that eye? Got just a little too much downward slope there. I'll bring that corner up a little bit. Bring this front down a little. I'll clean a little bit of this clay out of here so I can see what I'm looking at. So, I'm going to put my pin back in here. I'm going to put a pin back here on this corner right here. I can see just a slight white right here. Just a slight. And that eye looks pretty good. Now we'll do this other eye. He doesn't look so hot right now, does he? See what we got. See what we're looking at here. Here's the eye right in here. So I'm going to clear this out a little bit. Get our tear duct right there in the corner. Okay. Got our tear duct established right here in the corner of the eye. So we're going to sink one home right here. Again. You can use straight pins. Okay, now we're doing the bottom eyelid. Taking that, making that eyelid more pronounced. I want it to come down. No, I want it to go up. Come down just a little bit. No. I got it down, so I'm going to put a pin in here. Okay. We got our pin right here in the corner. That'll keep that from coming back up. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to establish this eyebrow again. Kind of see it comes right over the top of this eye here. So we're just going to go just like that again. Right over that, right where that kind of a different color the hair is. And that's what happened over here too. You went from kind of this blondish red into this other color. We want to do the same thing here. So we got that. What we want to do is put a pin in there to establish that point. It won't move. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and roll this eye over this eyelid. If your eyelashes are pointing straight up in the air, then you've done something wrong. Now you can feel under the skin if you need to smooth that clay out a little bit. And I can see we got a little bit of white right here. See that? That's okay. We got our eyelid rolled underneath. We got our. I'm looking at it here. I want to bring this down just a little bit. I'm going to smooth this out up in here. We're going to have about the same looking eyes. And I notice that our eye here is just a little bit different. I want to bring that up just a little. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to change the expression on these. your eyes, you change those expressions, you don't have to move them much at all. And we've got this guy looking pretty darn good. Now, what we got to do is get a couple balls of clay and put them up in here for our ear butts. Then you do that now. Check everything over again. Doesn't have to be very big. Oh, about like half the size of a golf ball maybe. You want to be able to get that up underneath here, right into here. So, it won't take some doing, but we can do it. There we go. You can feel it going up there. That's, yep, right there it is. And we'll do the same thing over here. We're going to establish this ear butt right here. I can feel it already. Oh. Go ahead and put it right on in there. Yeah, there it went. Okay, now granted, he doesn't look all so hot right now when you look at her, or him. He was a male, so anyway, this is what he's going to look like. Fairly close to that. You know, we can position his ears. You look at a coyote, a picture of a coyote in the wild, you notice their ears are fairly close together. There's not a large gap in between them, you know. So, and if you're doing a different type of coyote with open mouth growling, you'd put these back in an aggressive pose. But this here will work out real nice. And I want him looking ahead like that, or so he's here. Now I'm going to put a couple pins in here to keep them in place. Make sure they're a little bit cupped. I'll make sure they're upright. Look at it from the side and make sure they're all in the same area, same plane across the head. You want one ear back, one ear back, butt clear back there, the other up here. Put another pin in here. And then I got some carding material here. We'll card these ears so when they dry they'll dry. I've got some light cardboard here. That's all we got here. That going to work out pretty good. So we'll just cut that right in half. Let's see if we can get this to bend around here like this here. We'll put the other one in here. And we'll staple it. Try to catch a corner of the ear. the skin if you can. That'll help hold her in place. Anyway, there's that one. And after a few days you can take these off and see how the ears look. You can still move them that way. Okay. I'll tell you what'll kill you is on the expression on a coyote, is if you don't have the eyes right. So we got our eyes looking really good, and we got the ears looking really good. We carded them. We're gonna get we'll stick those upright. We'll take that off in a couple of days, see how that looks, and then I'm gonna take and get our stapler and staple just around the bottom here, just to hold this neck in place. We just want to hold it because we're going to put some, I don't know what we're going to use here yet. I'm just holding this in place right here now. We can always pull those staples out. Nobody's going to see them. Taking this, I'm looking at this. Nice looking coyote though. Like kind of a neat looking coyote. But anyway, that's that. As soon as we get the stuff to do the rug with, the bottom of it, you know, the trim and that, we'll work on it. We're going to let this dry up though first. And then we'll work on the nose and the eyes, and then we'll do a little bit more hide work. And we'll get a rug made out of this. Anyway, that's how you do that. You come back and adjust her every day. You just can't walk away from it. Okay. Alright, I'll let you know when we get ready to finish her up. Alright, we're back working on this coyote. He's been drying a week or two. Remember, we didn't put we cut his nose off and that. What we're going to do is we're going to pull these pins. And then we're going to take it. We'll just pull the pins. Then we'll rebuild the nose. Hopefully you can save some of your pins. We'll try to keep you in focus here, okay? We'll just keep doing the pin pulling. Get all the way around the mouth. You might not have used as many pins as I did, but it doesn't hurt to use some pins. Keep everything in place. sometimes you don't use enough and things stretch out of place and not quite, they don't end up quite where you want them. Okay, now we got that around the mouth. We're going to pull them around the eyes here. Okay, we got all the pins pulled. Now see how these whiskers kind of laid back? If you keep on top of things, you can keep these things, you just pull them forward and that'll make them look natural. Put a little pressure on them. This one doesn't have a lot for whiskers like some of them, but it looks better when the whiskers are there. Okay, what we're going to do is we got some two-part epoxy sculpt. We're going to get the eyes cleaned up here. Take out the extra glue here, or the extra clay. Remember I told you I put fox eyes in a coyote? Well, I don't know what I was thinking. I was so excited to do it that I just forgot. I don't know why. But anyway, I got coyote eyes. I rehydrated this area, and then I put them in, and there's no sense going over that with you guys. I could just tell you what I did easier. So now we got that. What we do is make little rolls of this epoxy sculpt. Like so. Then we put that around the eye. Now they sell a wax you can use too, but I used to use a lot of wax, but I kind of got away from that because you had to use paint thinner with it to thin it. So I just went with this stuff, and it seems to work out okay. Just wet your tool a little bit and force that stuff down in the cracks there, if you have any cracks, and then get it away from your eye. Let's see, I know I got to get up underneath here, right up in here. Let's see, let's get a little more in there. Now remember what I told you, your eyes really make the expression on your canines and your cats, or almost everything. Except for your fowl or your ducks and that, because their eyes are so little in that, but you focus on the eyes here more than anything. But what I do is once I get that, to brush off the excess there, and then just wet a Q-tip, go around there, that'll smooth that out. I got a little booger here hanging off, so I'm going to get rid of it. How come that? Okay. You see how that kind of smoothed that out? Now if we have to do any more work, take some out to make it look whiter, we will. We'll see how smooth that is. Now we're going to do this one here. And we got just a little bit extra on the eyelid here. It's just a little bit extra meat. It was just taking, and I thinned it down. And what we're going to do is the same thing. Get yourself a little roll of this. No matter how you put it on there, just get it so it covers up the crack. Now if your eyelid isn't quite right, you can take and make a new eyelid with this, like we're going to do on this one. Either in the skinning process or something, maybe. It looks good up in here. There's no wide cracks. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of that eye stuff out. Smooth this out a little bit. take and smooth it out with the wet Q-tip. Kind of use a dull knife I got here for cleaning up areas. Okay, your Q-tip, clean the eyes up a little bit, and you can't hardly see it now, but you'll see that when we paint these eyes, we'll spray them with some black paint, and it'll look, they're symmetrical across here, and one's not higher than the other, and then that's what we look for. Now I got some more of this epoxy sculpt. We're going to redo the nose here. This nose come partially built into the form, so what we're going to do is get this around the edges here. We're gonna go ahead and put a layer of epoxy sculpt on this. What we're trying to do is go for a clean transition between the hair and the nose. And see, we got the area here that we got to take care of, and down here. So we'll just keep adding to it. Wet your finger if you need some help there. This here we broke out. I accidentally broke it when we were putting it together. So I've got to rebuild this whole area here. And I'm going to do it with this epoxy sculpt. Blend it in. Make sure you get it where you can make it look nice. And see, we got the nostril area here. It's got a slit all the way back here, so we want to make sure that we get that in there. Okay. Well, going along fairly good. See, we're still making a transition here. Just make sure that you get that transition area filled up. We're going to put a piece up here. Doesn't take a whole lot, but sometimes I'll leave the real nose in, but it dries up, and you still have to do this type of work here on it. So we're just adding just little pieces here just to build it up. We'll smooth it out here, and it'll look like a real coyote nose. Now what you should do is, if you got any coyote pictures, go ahead and get them out and take a look at them. Make sure they look like a coyote nose. What we're doing here is I'm gonna take, and I need to build this up a little bit right here. So I've done so many coyote noses that I kind of know what they look like, I think. I should. I'm going to put a little in here, because we put a little layer all over the nose. So we had the basic nose there, but we had to fill it out. So we're just making it look a little bit plumper than what it was on the form. And that way you can buy a nose. I mean, for $15–20 or whatever, you can buy one. But this here, the skill it takes to do something like this compared to buying everything, you really don't learn a lot if you buy everything. I think you learn some when you do this type of work here, where you can actually make something. You learn a little bit better, I believe. Anyway, we're going to do the nostrils here, On a coyote, you'll end up having this hole right here on each nostril. I'll do both sides here. Okay, just round them out. I'm going to wet this down and smooth the top. Okay, now I'm going to take my dull knife and kind of smooth that out and make that nostril go all the way back, just like that. You can always smooth this stuff out. I'm trying not to get in the way here. And just make that look as natural as you can. That's not as round as I want it up here, but you see how I rounded that out a little bit. Now do the same on this side, and then we're going to make this nostril go back here, just like so. It goes all the way back to the skin here, so just like that. See that? We're just going to smooth this down a little bit. We had to transition in here from the nose to the skin, remember? You see that? We're going to end up with a nice smooth transition. Do your nose work here. I'm looking at that nose wondering, does it look pretty good or pretty bad? Or I take a wet Q-tip, get it in here, smooth things out. Down into this crease right here. Now if you want, you can put a little lip on him. If you look at the pictures and you look at your dog, sometimes they have a little lip showing. So we're going to give him just a little bit of lip here, and then we'll sculpt that in there. Use your dull knife and make your lip just like that. Smooth it out. Now what you can do is you just take your knife and you just make a series of little lines across there. That'll give that lip some texture. You see the texture on there? Then don't flatten it down. Okay. Now on the nose, you've got a crease that comes right down the middle here. So we'll just make us a crease right here, all the way down. It's not very wide, but it's a crease. So take that, and then I don't want any sharp edges on it. I want it kind of smooth. And that'll just widen it a little bit. Put a little pressure on there and widen that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to texture this nose so it looks real. And I use different tools to texture with. Like this one here, I got a comb that I'm just texturing with. If I had a good brush that would, see, I'm leaving those little bitty dimples in here. And if you look at your dog, you can do that. They got little dimples. You can use Mod Podge and make them, but this here is just a little bit more realistic. And I'm just giving it just some very light tapping. And what it's doing is just giving it a little bit of texture. You can use a brush. I got stiff paint brushes, stippling brushes, but they don't make the holes quite like this here. And I like this here. To be honest with you, I haven't used it that many times, but I wish I would have thought of it a long time ago, because it does if you do it just right, you end up with a nice stippling job. And you end up with a nice nose, just like that there. So, the next time we come back, we're going to paint these. You could spray it right now and let it set. And what I want to do is I want to take the ears off so I can spray those too. So.